Hi, it's really good to be back with you again. Week 5 of lockdown. I've been spending quite a lot of time on the telephone. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and I have this load of jobs to do at home that I've not even started yet, but maybe one of these days. Anyway, I've been reflecting on the Gospel for today from John chapter 20, and Bob's already read that to you. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. One of the most moving images that I've seen over the last week was of a woman kneeling outside the locked door of Westminster Cathedral in central London on Good Friday, closed due to coronavirus. The picture spoke volumes about her desperation to be in church on that holy day, to be able to worship her Lord in a service led by a priest and in the company of others. Reflecting on this scene, I realise that it echoes the longing many of us have as we try to find ways of living with the restrictions placed upon us during this challenging time of lockdown. As I phoned around, I've been asked, isn't there somewhere we could come to worship and pray, sing, take communion, share the peace? We yearn for the day when we can meet and enact our faith together as a community. So yes, we are greatly missing being together. But more than that, at a time when any physical contact is discouraged, if not actually forbidden, we're required to keep 2 meters apart at the supermarket, and we cannot have friends and family to visit. One of the things that I've been considering is the impact that the lack of touch is having on our lives. We are managing to keep in touch by telephone or through social media, but the loss of that physical contact is huge, especially for those who are in solitary isolation. In today's Gospel, we see the importance of touch in the Thomas story. He hadn't been around on the evening of Resurrection Day when the disciples had gathered behind locked doors out of fear for their lives, debating who would be next to be killed, and as they tried to work out what they'd witnessed over the previous roller coaster of a week. Supper together in the upper room, betrayal, the arrest and trial of their beloved master and friend, his crucifixion, and then an empty tomb, with rumours circulating that some people had actually seen Jesus. They were bewildered and disoriented. It just so happened, however, that Jesus appeared to them and spoke peace into their troubled hearts. Thomas, who wasn't there, was having none of it when the other disciples told him they'd seen the Lord. He said, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands, and put my finger in the mark of the nails, and my hand in his side, I will not believe." He wanted to see for himself, to touch Jesus. Touch plays a very important part in the story of Jesus. As a baby, he was wrapped in cloths and laid in a manger by his mother. Throughout his 3 years of ministry, he healed, often by touching people. He washed his disciples' dirty, dusty feet, gently drying them with a towel. He was betrayed with a kiss and physically beaten and killed. And then Joseph of Arimathea, along with Nicodemus, took Jesus down from the cross and buried him in a garden tomb after tenderly embalming his body with fragrant ointment. The physical is important. Appropriate touch is valuable. A hug, for example, can express love, comfort, give strength, or say, "I'm there for you," present, in a much more powerful way than words can. A seemingly inconsequential touch on the arm can convey acceptance, affirmation, encouragement. It can remind us of how much we are cared for and treasured. Touch is also recognised as being vital for our mental and emotional health and our well-being, even to the extent that it can boost our immune system. In addition, daily we hear heartbreaking stories of those dying of the virus their only comfort being that a compassionate nurse or doctor holds their hand at the end. The importance of touch. Jesus realized it was critical that Thomas got the chance to touch him, and so he was given that opportunity the following week when Jesus reappeared. Thomas's doubt was dispelled. He knew, believed that his Lord was alive. He saw the flesh and blood Jesus. He touched him. As we continue to self-isolate, aching for the touch of a loved one, let's not forget that Jesus came behind locked doors and offered his disciples peace and hope. And remember that one day we will once again be able to fling open the doors of our churches, gather together to break bread and drink wine, to shake hands, hug, hold, to touch. Let's pray. Give us your Easter joy, O Jesus, and while we are distanced from others, draw us close to you, that when the doors of our isolation are flung open, we may burst out into a world blossoming with resurrection hope, faith, and love. Amen.